Voltron Network.
I've often wondered what it would be like just to have the life of a cat. A pampered house cat.
Yes.
Not one of those, like, abandoned on the street type cats.
That's
That
true.
would be hell.
It'd be fun. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Talking at the Movies. I'm Eddie Reese Antonio.
And I am Mo. I'm Iron Man Mo. Saturday, I did 10 kilometers. Not walking, running.
I don't know what kilometers are. What's that in miles?
That a kilometer is 1,000 meters.
What's that in miles?
What's that? Oh, so 10 kilometers, I think it's about 6.2 miles.
Okay, not bad. Whoa. Have you weighed yourself yet? Before and after?
Yes. Yeah, in the last 3 weeks, I've lost half a stone.
Okay, it's not bad. Ooh,
Yeah. I could really feel like, a couple of those shirts that were a little bit tight for work, like to put one on today.
There you go. The
There
new,
you go. On
the
my
new photo
journey.
shoot coming soon, guys. Don't you worry. OnlyFans just around the corner, 2023. Hell yeah. What's good, Mo? Anything else?
No, I think that's been about my life for the last week. So don't expect me to have watched much. Although I'm looking at my list, I've watched a fair bit there. The exercising, the dieting is taking up a lot of time in the evenings.
This week, guys, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, some other James Gunn stuff, Cumberbatch's new film, the new He-Man movie on Netflix, and a whole bunch of what we'll be watching also. Don't forget Peacemaker, Book of Boba Fett, Superman Lois. I'm also talking Righteous Gemstones and Ozark. But before that, Mo, what have you been watching, sir? You might as well add Ozark and Righteous Gemstones into that because I ain't got around to them.
Oh my lord, dude!
Not in the mood.
Ozark, you've got to get on that. You've got to get on that, mate.
Not in the
I'm
headspace.
telling you, we've already got a problem, Eddie, because it's only January and there's already 2 shows three shows, in fact, that are likely to but might be contenders for the top 5, and Ozark is amongst those.
Or what are the other 2?
Peacemaker.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And the Righteous Gemstones, which I'll come to in a minute. So Ozark, so obviously I won't spoil. Have you watched any this week?
Nope.
Right, so obviously I won't spoil it, but let's just say shit happens. Shit goes down.
Shit always happens. It's too much. I can't take it. It's like, it fucks me up,
dude.
man.
I even try to rationate like 1 episode a day, but even that just seemed like I just rushed through it. And I've got to say, Ruth Langmore, like from the beginning of the show right up to now, like such a well-rounded, fleshed-out character. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say what happens, but let's just say stuff happens.
I feel the betrayal. It's like it's personal. It's like she's betrayed me personally.
Oh no! You got to see what happens to her in this season.
Oh God!
Like a woman scorned. Let's just say she got scorned.
Right.
Yep. Don't want to talk too much
it?
about it. Oh, I've finished it, mate. I'm waiting for part 2 now. That's going to probably come out later this year. I will tell you the really strangest thing, though. You know, like how the show opens with them going on a family holiday or whatever. Sure. Never mentioned again.
Oh, so it must be at the end of the part 2 then when that happens.
Because
they said they're moving. They said they're moving vans, everything. So
yeah, but it's like they want you to remember the opening of like season 6 that you're not going to get to see till later this year. You're going to forget.
Yeah, that was would be at the end of this part that they would do, but
never mentioned. Nothing happened. And what's really amazing, I think a couple of the last 2 episodes were directed by Robin Wright of the House of Cards.
Oh,
the wife,
stepping up.
Yeah, and they were very well directed episodes as well.
Okay.
Right. Get on to the Righteous Gemstones. Eddie, you need to get on this before you see any spoilers or anything, right? I will say this.
No, I don't. It's weird. Not a lot of people watch.
But it's been renewed already for the next season.
It's weird because I never hear chatter about it. It's so odd.
It is odd. The only place I've seen chatter is if you go searching for it on Reddit. That's where you're seeing chatter. Right. So I will say one thing. It's nowhere near as funny as season 1, but what it lacks in the humor, and there still is humor, they amp it in the drama and the seriousness, but there is a little bit of comedy mixed in. But I'm telling you, Eddie,
drama and seriousness from a McBride joint.
I'm telling you though, Eddie, It's so good though. You know, like how Black Monday, the humor decreased each season, and the story
Yeah,
wasn't
that's when
like,
I stopped watching it because it
yeah.
stopped being funny and it wasn't as good as the
But
first
but
season.
in this, where it's not like slapstick funny, the seriousness of it, like the story they're telling. So basically, they're kind of fleshing out the John Goodman character,
Mm.
and this last week was a whole flashback to like when the kids were still young, he was still married, the wife was alive, and because he's lost so much of weight, he's actually able to play like a younger version of himself, like
Uh,
really well.
yeah.
Um, and I'll tell you who makes it though is Uncle Billy Bobby, Uncle Bobby, what is his name? And he wasn't even in the first couple of episodes, so I was thinking, did he die in season one? 'Cause I remember him being all beaten up
Yeah.
and yeah, but he just turns up in like episode three and is like, all right.
Bobby.
And they flesh
Bobby.
out his character as well. You find out a little bit about his back end, and you find out we already know he's a piece of shit. You find out that he's even a worse piece of shit and what he's portrayed as.
No redemption arc for him,
No
man.
redemption. So they chronicle like how Eli built his empire and how they became rich. It's so interesting. Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Righteous
Um,
Gemstones. Gotta get on it.
Righteous Gemstones. Star Trek Prodigy. They have started the two-part mid-season final. I'm not going to go too much into it, but they put on Starfleet uniforms, and I've got to say these are the worst designed Starfleet uniforms in the history of Star Trek. I don't know what they were thinking. These things are horrible.
Why are they redesigning? Now can't they just stick with a freaking established uniform
No,
design?
if you never watched Star Trek, they redesign them like all the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes you live and have shows where some of them are like wearing the new one and some of them are wearing the old one.
that's ridiculous. That's so
Yeah,
much.
they were obsessed with redesigning the uniform on those
It
shows.
ain't
Like they
like they're
always have.
selling like a ton of toys and shit. Like it makes sense when superheroes get new costumes every movie. Star Trek, I don't get it. Why?
If I could get some good quality replicas, because I'm really dubious about ordering them on Amazon because you never know what you're gonna get.
But Amazon, you can send it back. It's all right. Ain't too bad. But then you want to
Yeah.
wait until you've like got to your peak physical weight that you wanna, that you
Yeah,
feel good at.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that ended on a right old good proper cliffhanger. So really looking forward to watching this week. And I guess the only other thing is, did you watch Lois and Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch all three episodes, all
Yep.
up to
Yep. Yep.
date. Yeah,
And
should we?
yeah, they fooled us. They gave us all the clues to think it was Doomsday that was coming up out the ground, but then they bait and switched and it turned out to be Bizarro.
Is it because I was wondering that? Is it because you couldn't really do Doomsday on a TV budget?
Well, that's never stopped them before because they did it in Smallville. There was a
Oh, I can't remember. I
yeah,
can't remember that.
yeah. Doomsday was in Smallville. So and to be
I,
honest, just get a massive dude with massive bodysuit. Dude, they done King Shark in on the Flash, and it did look good, so they could do Doomsday.
yeah, but is it like Doomsday supposed to be like this massive, like kind of
Yeah, and
really
King
hideous
Shark
looking
was like a
creature?
massive, it was a completely CG character, but it looked good.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I'm okay. I like the switch. Bizarro makes
Little
it
Bizarro.
it's an interesting way to go and how that's going
So
to affect him and the family.
I'm trying to think, was Bizarro in Smallville, but then was it actually Brainiac that I'm thinking of? Who did James? Do you remember who James Masters played? Was he
James,
Bizarro or Brainiac? I think he was Brainiac.
I can't remember. I
Yeah.
honestly can't remember. But he must have been in Smallville. Went through every freaking character, whether they were connected to Superman or not. Man, they just kept.
They were on the air for 10
Aquaman
seasons.
was on Smallville at one point. Ridiculous. Yeah, like you can see the money's still there. Like they did a little Iron Man thing with Steel when he jumped and the
Oh
suit
yeah,
kind of all
you know
flies
what?
on him.
As you was watching that, that is exactly the thing that came to mind. That's like Iron Man.
Made me laugh. I don't mind them doing that. It's a bit of fun. Yeah, but it's just the teen melodrama stuff that's really starting to grate on me, man. I'm starting to just not care about that shit.
I don't mind it too much. They got it out the way pretty quickly, right? They could have, like in previous shows, they would have probably dragged out the fact that she had a secret for like 10 episodes
Yeah,
before the mid-season final, it
that's true.
coming
That's
out.
true. Um,
Yeah,
I'm guaranteeing that other son, the one with no powers, is going to become a junkie on that kryptonite
Kryptonite meth.
power. Yeah, meth. That That's giving him powers because he's gonna feel like, yeah, finally, I'm just like dad and my brother,
Yeah.
and they can be like, you have to stop, you're killing yourself. No, and he's gonna have temper tantrums. Guaranteed, it's gonna go that way. Can't
There we
wait.
go. We've got this season storyline.
Can't wait. Yeah, still fun. But let's get into the bigger shows. Mando. What could make the book of What could make the book of Boba Fett good? You turn it into an episode of The Mandalorian.
I'm sorry. I thought they'd uploaded the wrong show onto Disney Plus. I thought they'd uploaded season 3, episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
And how much better was it? It was
No,
so much better.
no,
It was
come
so
on.
much better.
They turned what should have been a 5-minute thing into a whole bloody episode.
And it was great.
He should have just got a hollow call from Mingwa to say, we need you.
This was so much better, so much more interesting. You got some backstory on the Mandalorians getting wiped out and their planet. Was just very cool to see that.
That beginning bit, that beginning bit was interesting.
The ship from the
10 minutes.
The ship
building a whole ship.
The building ship thing did take longer than it needed to, but still, it was still cool to see that ship come back from the prequels.
It was cool, but you know what? In my mind, the only thing I could think of, like when I was looking at that ship, right, was, hold on a minute, in his old ship he could walk around, he must have had a bathroom, he must have had a kitchen.
I did think about that. Like, he can't be a bounty hunter no more because where's he going to put the bounty? Where's he going to put the guy?
Exactly.
And where's he going to live? Because he lived on the other ships. He's not...
Exactly.
He's got nowhere to live on this one. So...
Yeah, that was like the only thing that kept going through my mind. I go, this ship's, right, it might be cool, it might be fast, but it's a piece of shit. It's not suitable for a spacefaring lifestyle.
He got pulled over by the cops, though.
But he was being naughty. He was being very naughty. That looked really... I mean, if you did that in real life to a commercial airliner, you wouldn't... Yeah, you would be, like, in prison. You'd be in prison and then you'd never be heard from again.
Almost happened, but then he flipped the nos, just like freaking Fast and Furious. Just gone. Loved it.
What I did like as well, you know the little things that they show that this is like a real universe where he's flying commercial and he's not allowed to take like his guns on board.
I did like that little touch. And dude, how much cooler was the Halo planet that he was on?
Ooh, that was pretty cool.
I want a series on that to be a location for the show. Like, it's just more interesting. It's more visually engaging than seeing desert every fucking episode.
Well, Tatooine is like it's like the nexus for Star Wars, isn't it? It's like in
Tatooine.
It's almost in everything.
Yeah,
it's in apparently 6. It's in 6 of the 9 movies apparently, and all the TV shows.
Feels like more. It's crazy. Yeah, just a way better episode. Loving it. It just shows you that everything that was once cool about Boba Fett has now been sucked out of him by a syringe and injected straight into Mando.
And there was nothing cool about this
He
episode.
Is the cooler Mandalorian now. He's the one.
It was a slog.
You're on your own, man, because everyone loves this episode.
Everyone wants to just fellatio the fucking Mandalorian. Boba Fett is where it's at.
I got a prediction. Could be wrong, but I reckon the Black Saber is going to end up with Boba Fett.
You reckon?
I reckon.
There is a little thing about the Black Saber that I didn't realize. I was only I said it on a podcast. Do you know, like, apparently Jedis are supposed to be the only ones that are supposed to wield lightsabers, because otherwise, like, if you're not a Jedi, you could accidentally hurt yourself, cut an arm off or something like that. So you know when he's talking about that it's really heavy, it's front heavy, that kind of stuff. That was apparently supposed to be a reference to the fact that Jedis.
That was originally going to be lightsabers issue. They were supposed to originally, when Lucas came up with it, sabers were supposed to get heavier as you use them, and it's just their Zen shit, their full shit that made it easier. So I'm betting it's gonna end, because who is Zen in this universe right now? That you reckon exactly? He's the one that could
see. He's the man.
Be peace of mind, and you know.
One thing, just going back to the beginning of this episode, I've got to say, these Mandalorians, they take their mask wearing, I think, a little bit too seriously. There needs to be a revolution.
And it's cooler, though, because don't forget, there's 2 groups. There's these other religious fundamentalist ones, and then there's like the other ones.
But they ban him. They get out.
Because they're their religion. You got the Starbucks lot, which don't give a shit. They take it off every minute because they want to show off their pretty faces and, be all photogenic.
But how long can a religion last like that? Doesn't even allow you to take your mask off, like even like for a moment.
I hope I don't offend anyone by saying this. It's kind of like the hijab. You keep it on. No one's
No,
allowed
but
to
you can
see
take
you
that off. You can take
at
that off when
home.
you're in your home. You can take it off in front of like your family, your close family members and stuff.
Yeah, they're not really
And
family.
plus, it's a choice that as well. It's not like or it's forced upon you because of like your family.
No, I like it. It just makes like again that makes Mando. I know that's not his proper name. He has a proper name that they gave him, but I forget it. But that makes Mando cooler than Boba now because I'm fed up of more Boba taking his mask off every 2 seconds,
Because Boba knows you don't need no mask to be intimidating.
and he's not intimidating. That's the problem. Yeah, this is cool. So much better. Thumbs up, 5 stars. Best show of the year,
Cool,
just
cool,
because of this
cool.
episode.
Let's get to the real meat and potatoes of the week, though.
Peacemaker.
Honestly, just superb, just superb. I'm like so upset that I think we're probably at the halfway point now of the show because I was at episode 5 or something.
Yeah. I don't. That's presuming there's like 10 episodes. I don't
Oh
even know
yeah,
if
it's
it's
probably
going
like
that
8
long.
or something.
Yeah.
So many wonderful moments. I love the beginning bit where they're watching the PowerPoint presentation, and he's like reeling off names of like who could have been like framed instead of his father.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. It's so dumb.
Ariana Grande.
He's so dumb. Him and Vigilante, they're just the dumbest two, man. So crazy. Um. Yeah. And it's crazy that the detectives, they're almost trying to get the dad out because they know he's innocent.
Yeah,
Like they also obviously hate him and he's a piece of shit, but
but law
they
is the law,
know,
right?
yeah,
They're
they know
showing a
he's not
cop.
him.
They're showing a cop with like conscience.
So it's weird, man. What the fuck? There's got to be two rival groups of these butterflies. That's what I'm thinking. That's why Mur
Yeah.
and whoever's
So do you
associated with
think?
him.
So do you think Mur is a good butterfly?
I think they're gonna reveal that that's the case. Yeah. Or that's the.
And do you think Amanda Waller knows that
I
he's
think
a
she does.
butterfly?
Yeah.
Right.
She always knows. She knows every bloody thing.
Mm.
You know it.
Some real highlights in this episode though, right? Them they're having their bonding party on the way to the factory where the
They
food is
make.
being processed, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Vigilante like with the chainsaw at the back of the truck because it's so annoyed that he can't take it because I'm never gonna get to kill anyone with a chainsaw.
And then fucking they brought out. Yeah, if he probably a deep cut for a lot of people, but Gorilla Grodd, the talking sidekick gorilla, and they just killed him in 2 seconds. He's a pretty major character within
Is
DC as a
he?
villain.
I was gonna say, was he? He was in the Flash, right?
He was, yeah.
He was, yes, yes.
And this he was cool. It was a good fight as well.
That IT tech dude, that's 2 for
Yeah.
2 now.
No.
He took out the ninja, and now he's taken out the gorilla.
That was a joke. Vigilante took it well though. I was expecting him to be a lot more pissed. But it was like, okay. Damn.
But he was pissed at the end because he did say to Peacemaker that he stole my idea. Because
Yeah.
literally,
And he
I did I wanted to kill.
coincidentally just turned up with a chainsaw.
Yeah, and it was very predictable at the end. As soon as what's the name put on the helmet,
X-ray vision. Yep.
you knew what was going to happen.
How did he know she could see what it looked like? He didn't know it was an X-ray helmet. Literally, as soon as she looked at him, he just suddenly just switched.
Probably saw like the reaction on her face.
Yeah, probably. So where's this gonna go now?
Yeah.
Plot thickens. Let's jump into
Beautiful.
one of our subject
Beautiful.
matters because it connects directly to this. James Gunn said that he's going to be doing a second Suicide Squad spin-off.
He is indeed.
We were discussing this on a DC versus Marvel podcast. Before we get into what we thought, which I think would be a genius idea,
Yeah.
which character do you reckon, if any, that we saw?
Oh, see, that I don't know because he has been on record as saying this will be a more serious show and not as much of a comedy. Then you're kind of thinking, well, who would you want to kind of see? Would you want to see Rat Girl come back? Would you want to see Mr. Polka Dot Man? I know they killed him off, but they could bring him back to life. That would be like But that would need to be more of a comedy, right? Because he's got some serious issues.
Yeah, like a prequel to how he got arrested in the first place. Oh, I
Yeah.
want to see Ratcatcher with Weasel.
Ratcatcher with Weasel.
Yeah, I want her
So
to
you,
be because it's basically a
is
giant
it?
rat. So why not the two of
Hold
them?
on,
The two
is
of them.
Ratcatcher her father?
Yeah, but she's Ratcatcher 2 or something
Oh
like
right,
that.
okay. So you don't mean the original. You don't mean like to have to get what's his name in front of the
No, no,
camera.
no, no, no. It'll be her with
Yeah.
that giant weasel, and she has to try and stop him from killing kids. Remember, he killed like 20 something kids. That was his rap sheet. It's like he's so cute. No, he's killed 24 kids. No, 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 no. See, that would be a great show. And then when you said it's going to be more serious,
Yeah.
nah, not as interested now. I
I
want
don't
the
know. I
comedy
mean, it
gold,
is James Gunn. I mean, I guess he's serious. Probably will still have a lot of comedy in it because
possibly.
it seems like it is so effortless for him to write funny comedy dialogue and situations into it.
Yeah.
Even serious bits. You know, like the bit where they suddenly turn up at the warehouse and she's telling him, "Just be chill, don't do anything," and live straight away,
Bang!
bang.
You think, what the fuck are you doing? So, oh yeah, you can see them. You can see inside their heads. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a joke. Just show, man. It's just been a whole surprise. Did not
yeah.
expect it to be as fun as it is. You're
No,
not watching
absolutely not.
Peacemaker, then, dude, or Peacekeeper.
I'm
You do
still saying I since I've been watching without you guys, I won't skip the credit sequence either. I love that credit sequence.
Oh, I can't do it. I
Love
can't
it.
do
They've even got the janitor like from episode 1 who hasn't been in it again.
it. I, I also think that the girlfriend's going to turn out to be something. She could be a butterfly as well,
Yep, you reckon?
maybe on Mer's side, kind of sent to keep an eye on her. Because what else reason is there for her to be there? Because she doesn't really serve a purpose to the story.
But isn't that probably like the whole diversity angle that a lot of shows like aim for? Like we
But
say, look,
I,
yeah, we've ticked that box off.
I'd like to think that James Gunn, at least, even if he's ticking boxes, he
Yeah.
still wants a character to have a point. And it feels like she's
I,
kind of just turning up now and again for no reason. So
But I
I'm
guess
believing she has to
she's
have
the
some
only
reason.
one who's actually got like some sort of like outside family commitments, right? Everybody else, I guess Peacemaker's got his dad, but that's a bit of an iffy thing. No one else has really got
Yeah.
outside attachments, so they're
So
gonna
she
have.
thinks until it's revealed that, yes, I was saying, but I really do love you. And that's going to be the thing that she's in love with a
But
butterfly.
take the. Well, oh, actually, what is Peacemaker doing with the butterfly that he's got? Why is he being so undercover?
I think it's just, yeah. I think out of curiosity, he kept it, and now it's just his pet. They probably
Throwing
save him at
honey
some
all over
point.
it.
Yeah, probably save him at some point. Yeah, it's a mad one. I'm surprised
Yeah,
Eagly
I
hasn't turned into
tell you who
Fred
should get a spin-off show. Eagly. Eagly should get his own show.
yet. Subtitles every time he talks. Yeah. Yeah, I'll watch it. Fuck it, I'll watch it. Oh, and a little reference. How we gotta go back to Harley Quinn animated show.
Oh
Did
yes,
you
yeah,
see the
yeah, yeah.
reference on the wall in his apartment?
I did not know.
Peacemaker. What the hell? What I keep? It's Peacekeeper. Get it in your head, Eddie. Not Peacemaker. Jesus. Peacemaker takes down Kite Man. You remember Kite Man, the guy that was in love with Poison Ivy? The guy that just flew around in the kite. He was like the useless villain.
Vaguely.
Oh
It's been
my
so.
god, your
I
memory is
think
so bad.
no, mate. We haven't watched those episodes in almost 2 years.
It's still fresh in my mind. Kite Man. It's pretty distinctive. A man who flies with a kite
Uh,
attached to his back.
cannot remember.
But yeah, a little reference from that show. So it feels like, man, maybe I should get back to that. It was fun. All right, so what next? Trailers?
Right. Should go on to the trailers.
Let's do it. Which one first?
Right. So first we've got up The Cursed. Don't know much about this one. Trailer just popped up a few days ago, and it looks bad shit.
Read the
Crazy.
synopsis. While you look for that. Yeah, I liked it because it reminded me of The Witch. It has that very cinematic, dark, serious feel to it. Like cerebral horror.
Right, so in rural 19th century France, a mysterious, possibly supernatural menace threatens a small village. John McBride, a very French name, a pathologist, comes to town to investigate the danger and exorcise some of his own demons in the process.
Oh, so is this a story of the beast of, I forget the name of the village that is based on. But yeah, there was all that the story of all these like murders that were happening in this place in France, and it was like believed that there was a beast, a giant werewolf. It's popped up in like a ton of films, various different takes on this. I think there was
I have
one that was
no
actually
idea.
called Brotherhood of the Wolf that came out like in the 2000s with Monica Bellucci. Yeah, sounds like it. It
It
seemed
also
like
looks like the IMDb page is actually got two different films like confused.
12 dear. The
It's
right.
got like pictures and the trailer of the film, but it's also then got photos of like all these Korean actors and actresses, and they're
Oh no.
listed in the cast.
Oh no. I've seen that happen sometimes.
That is weird.
Yeah, and it all looks like it's all set on the backdrop of like the certain witch trials that were happening in France around that time, because you see that sort of woman getting, I think that's what kicks it off, innit? Some woman getting buried alive, and I guess that what sets the guy off to do what he
Yeah.
does. So this looks good. I'm
Does
into
look
this.
interesting. Yes, one that we've not heard of before,
What else?
but potentially the biggest one that dropped like Sunday night.
Well, get to the other one
Uh,
before we get to the biggest one. Come on, man. You know timing, Mo. You do
what's
the
the
little
one?
trailers first, then you get to the big trailer of the week.
Which one would you say is the big one out of the next two? One is a sequel to an iconic movie. The other one is a adaptation of a video game.
Um, no, come on. It's got to be Texas Chainsaw. We got to get Chase the Sage West out of the way. It looks like they're doing. This is the Netflix.
This is the Netflix
What
one.
we thought was going to be a remake, but it turns out it's a sequel, because
It
the
is a
girl that
sequel.
survives the first movie is the old woman in this one, basically doing what they did with the Michael Myers stuff. Is it Michael Myers? I
Oh
always
no,
get
is it Halloween?
Halloween. Yeah, yeah, literally doing a similar sort of thing where you see
So
Jamie Lee
I must
Curtis as the old woman.
confess that my memory of like this movie is very rusty. So
Of
for the people who
course
have
it
never
is.
seen this film, Eddie, maybe you should explain that I always thought the Chainsaw Massacre was like some dude with a chainsaw who
Yeah.
just went on a killing rampage.
You
But
got
it
like a
seems
six
like,
month, like a 6 month
but
memory
it's
loop,
no, I've never
and your
seen the
brain just
film.
wipes off.
No, I've never actually seen it.
No,
Um,
Chainsaw Massacre is one of
is a
the.
horror film,
It's
right?
the
It is an
iconic,
actual.
yeah, but it's an iconic one because it was back in the 70s, I believe.
Yes.
But it set it was one of the movies that created the trope of the teenagers that just go out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Okay. So it has got a supernatural element to like
No,
the killer.
no, he's a
Nope.
real person. It's like a hillbilly family of inbred people, and
Right.
he's like the son that's just crazy demented, wears a mask made of skins of all the people he's killed,
Ooh.
and he basically just goes around killing off all of these teenagers.
But there definitely seems to be a supernatural element in this particular film, right?
The fact that
They're
he's
going,
still
he's
alive.
back after 50 years.
Well, no, it could be living because it was in the middle of nowhere in the deep south in America. So
Yeah, but have you seen like his face? It's all like,
yeah, but that's the mask. He always
yeah.
wore a mask made of skins of people he killed.
I see they
Take their
brought
face.
it like they have brought it smack bang up to date, right? Because there's that bit at the end which I laughed my face off.
That sold me on it. I wasn't sure, but once they had that, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I love it.
Are we talking about the same bit?
On the bus where
Yo,
everyone pulls out their phone.
he's like,
Goes,
yo, bro, you can't do nothing. You get cancelled.
it's just start slaughtering them. Like, yes, that's what I want to see from my modern horror films. Love it. Yeah, it kind of has that Halloween issue though, where well, that is definitely supernatural. The fact that he's got to be in his 70s or 80s,
Yeah.
but he's still super strong and you know can take bullets and shit. The fact that this guy should have been, because you can see how old that woman is, and she was like a teenager in the first film, but this guy's still running around. So, but yeah, I'll watch it. It's gonna pop up on Netflix, so I've got no reason not to.
February 18th, it's coming. So about
Not
2 weeks'
long.
time.
Not long.
Not as
Okay,
long.
so the big one of the week, Halo.
Dropped during
Paramount
the
Plus.
AFC football game over the weekend. I think Paramount was so excited they even tweeted the fact that it was coming. And from a purely aesthetic point of view, it does look like the video game.
Oh yeah, design wise, like yeah, even the aliens.
And with the swords and stuff, when I saw that, I was
Yeah,
like, wow, that really looks like the game brought to
I
life.
love it. We're at a point now where You know, if this was made like 20 years ago, they would have changed everything about this. The
Oh
suit would
yeah,
look completely different. You'd see the
yeah.
guy's face. It would just be like glass visor or some shit. The aliens would just be like skinny dudes in costumes. But now, yeah, we're at a point now where it's like, no, we have to make it like the
The
property that
game.
we're adapting.
Yeah. So there are a couple of things that I guess a little bit odd. First, I mean, it's been a while since I played a Halo game, but they seem to have like a human leading the alien, or giving the
Yeah,
bad guys a
like
human face.
like a queen. Seems like
Yeah,
some
it
sort
looks
of
like a
queen
kid or
figure.
something. Oh, then there's a kid that seems to be like talking to Master Chief. And you're kind of thinking, oh God, he's not going to have like a little kid running around, their equivalent of
No, bro,
Baby
because
Yoda
that's
or
what
something.
Cortana's for. Cortana looked weird. That was
Apparently, it's the skin tone. Apparently, in the game, she's supposed to be blue or
yeah,
something.
but she's like a
Right?
hologram though, so it kind of
Yeah,
covers that because you never really focus. It's not like a sharp pin because
yeah,
she's like a hologram. But with this, they just decided to make a pin sharp focused and with a
yeah.
weird sort of face that just looks. It just looks prosthetic.
Is
All
that an
rubber.
actual? Is that what the actress looks like, or is that like a CGI thing?
Sure.
Because it's got the voice is the actress of Cortana. So I
Ah,
know that much for sure. Although apparently the Master Chief is a different voice actor.
yeah. Some people complain about that, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but I guess the Cortana voice is very iconic now, right? It was even like in Windows 10.
Yeah. But technically, so was his. Like, there's no
Yeah,
real reason to
but you
change his
never
voice
really
because
had it. Well, I guess they probably wanted a professional named actor,
he
right?
literally. But why? Because you don't see him. He's literally just his voice. And that guy
We've had
played
this
the voice for
discussion
like
before, Eddie.
15 years. Like, if you've done the job perfectly well, that you've had it for multiple games, then why can't you just do it in this?
Nah.
Fine. You want your voices to be as highly
I actually,
paid.
to be fair, I mean, I played the early games. I actually don't really remember him talking much.
Yeah,
Maybe the later games.
even I played them quite a bit.
Yeah.
You believe it? I played a shit ton of Halo back in the day. Damn.
You know.
But if anyone asks me what's the story of Halo, I could not fucking. I had no idea where to begin.
Well, it's about aliens kicking ass, isn't it? It's about the there is the Halo.
Yeah,
There are the
yeah,
aliens,
yeah, yeah.
and it seems that every time you defeat the aliens, they seem to come back in the sequel.
Keep coming back. And Master Chief is basically a genetically engineered, roided up super
I
soldier.
don't know
Spartans.
about that.
Yeah, because he's like
Possibly,
8 foot. They're
but
all
that's because they're in the suit. How much of that suit is mechanical?
no, they're literally supposed to be genetically biologically created, like test tube
Why do they have
babies.
the suit then? If they're
Just to
that
add a bit more,
hardcore.
just to make it
Um,
even more hardcore.
the biggest criticism I have of this trailer is Halo has one of the most iconic musical scores like ever.
Oh,
It's like right up there, and
it,
it's not in the trailer at all.
if it ain't in the show, I'd be shocked. Because yeah, you're right. It is one of those. Yeah,
Yeah,
people know it, love it.
and it's a badass tune as well.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, it has to be in the show. I'd just be shocked. Maybe they
Why would
don't
you
want to
not
pay
put
the
it in the
money
trailer?
to the composer. They want to save money
Do you know
anyway.
that would be pittance? Like considering like that. I mean, it looks like they've spent a lot of money on it, right? Not to pay like the composer a few £1,000 or whatever it is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. So yeah, thumbs
Yeah.
up. Which one? Trailer of the week.
Does look good. I think it's got to be Halo. That was pleasantly surprised. I mean, do you still? I mean, you were saying the teaser looked cheap. Do you still think it looks
It
cheap?
no, it's the thing is, it's weird because it's not cheap. Like I've said this even with Wheel of Time. I can see that there's money there with costumes, with sets. It's just they choose to use certain cameras which don't just have that cinematic, really high level cinematic look, which they really should for properties like that. And I feel like Halo, this trailer looked better, but it does still look more on the telly side than like even compared to the
Is that
curse. The
is
curse
that the
looked
cameras, or is that because like those film? Because on digital, obviously, there's no grain, right? You've got to go and add that
yeah,
film
but look at
effect.
the cursed. It looked way more cinematic. It is the cinematography just looked way more high class. High, it just had texture to it. And then this looks just very sharp and
But it's
but
all desert
not
based, so
terrible. Not
it's
terrible.
yeah,
It don't look bad. It still looks
yeah.
expensive, but
They should just go back shooting on film.
yeah,
Anyway, right, should we get to the news?
let's do it.
Right, Mr.
Why
Cucumber
is
Batch.
why is this news?
What?
Why is this Cumberbatch
S-
doing a movie of
s-
something I've never heard of?
He's doing a
News.
sci-fi movie, mate. This is what we like. We like sci-fi, right? He's in there with like Laura Dern. He's in there with some other folks I've never heard of. One of the guys from the Quiet Place. But the idea of the movie. So Morning is set in the near future where society has a pill that does away with the need to sleep. With the added help of an artificial sun, there is no end to morning daylight, living and working. However, as the young generation grows up deprived of a world of sleep, they consider rebelling to reclaim their dreams.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
So basically, they're living in Iceland or Norway,
yeah,
where it's
exactly.
the
Where the
sun
sun
all the
never
time,
sets. Yeah,
in the summer at
I've
least.
often wondered what what the world would be like because you hear about these odd people that go, well, I haven't like slept in like 30 years or something, and they just have all this time.
What do you mean? Haven't slept in 30? You'd
Oh,
drop
have you
dead.
never seen? There is a guy. I think is he from China or something? Like
He's
he just doesn't
lying at his
sleep.
ass. He's lying at his ass. He would have dropped dead if he doesn't sleep.
I'm
Unless
guessing
he has
there are.
some
It's
weird
some
brain.
genetic. Yeah, there's probably
Yeah.
some sort of genetic mutation, weird anomaly. Probably there's an aneurysm in his head that's gonna go pop one day.
That would be amazing. Like if you could do that and not have any ill effects,
Yeah,
that would be amazing. Like all the time you'd have to do everything.
but just imagine like when you're tired or when you're not feeling well, the sleep just does.
Yeah,
Sleep is like the body's own medicine.
it is. But if you're not getting tired, that's the point. If you're
Yeah.
not feeling that thing where you want to lay down, that would be
Yeah, but it's
amazing.
like if you go and run like 10K, you're gonna get tired after that.
Physically, but oh man, oh man, I need this. Somebody listening, if you inventing shit like this, actually, what am I talking about? It does is it's called meth.
Yeah,
Keep you
but
up.
eventually, even on meth, you've got to sleep eventually, right?
You little crack.
Can't just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. I'd imagine you probably
Right,
die.
right, this sounds interesting.
Yeah,
When
see,
does
told
this
you.
any date for this?
No date for this as yet. No indication when the morning might kick off shooting.
Oh, so this is probably for next year then.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Or probably a year after, in fact. I
Ooh,
would say.
mm.
Right, next on our list. Um, when I think of He-Man, I
He-Man.
do not think of Kyle Allen. And I don't know who Kyle Allen is, but I know he has been in the West Side Story.
Sure, you're not getting it confused though, because he still has to be Prince Adam as well, and maybe
He,
that's who he's gonna be.
he does look like Prince Adam. I'll give him
There you
that,
go.
actually. But the same character, same person has got to play He-Man. You can't have two different actors.
Uh,
Right, so
isn't that the
we're
only
getting
way
ahead
to
of
do it?
ourselves. So first of all, I didn't realize that I know we talked about it a while ago, but it looks like the Netflix Masters of the Universe live action is actually moving ahead because
Yeah.
they have now, I guess, casted this character, this Kyle Allen from the West Side Story.
Yes. Young pretty boy. Well, I can see as Prince Adam.
CGI muscles,
Oh, just get a
a
big
suit.
dude. Just get a big dude. You saw the Ryan Reynolds Disney Plus movie where he's in a computer game.
Oh yes, yeah.
And there's that part at the end where there's a
Yeah, I
roided up
guess
version
so.
of him.
I guess so.
You literally get that guy and put this guy's face on him, like they did with Ryan Reynolds with that guy, and there you go. Problem
Yeah.
solved.
Had Netflix seems to be going Masters of the Universe bad because they got the Kevin Smith one, they got another cartoon, and now they're
Here's
doing the
one.
live action.
So
Looks like Sony has walked away from this because it was originally a Sony picture. Looks
yeah,
like they
they
had no faith.
apparently they had an amazing script, which I have a copy of. I haven't read all of it, but it's very gritty and dark and gothic. It's like The Witcher and Lord of the Rings, but for grown-ups. And they decided not to make it because they got rid of the director and got another one. You know
So
how it goes in Hollywood, that once they get rid of one director, the next director wants to rewrite the
yep.
script. And
So do you know who the writers and the directors of this one are? This one is.
go on, tell me. I'm not gonna like it.
Right. So have you heard of a movie called Band of Robbers?
Nope.
Nope. Have you heard of a movie called that hasn't come out yet, but we did watch a trailer a couple of weeks ago, The Lost City,
I don't even remember that.
with,
Have you watched
with
that trailer?
Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum? Remember,
Oh
like the
God.
rom-com adventure type thing.
Oh, that looked
So it's
terrible.
going to be directed and co-written by brothers Adam and Aaron
How?
Nee.
This happens every 2 years. There's these guys that come out that have directed nothing of significance or that anything good. And they get given these massive properties and these things which are fundamental in our childhoods. Like
It's the
we,
Marvel way, right? You never heard of Taika Waititi before,
yes, I'd seen
have
these
you?
little indie movies
Yeah, but
before
you
he went
never
to
thought
Marvel.
those indie films, man, this dude is going to direct like a brilliant Thor film.
I didn't, but his films were good. At least he had a proven track record with good independent movies. A lot of these guys, they get these jobs and they haven't got anything out. They got like a short film somewhere. That
Probably had that just shows you, Eddie, that like you're being so lazy. Like you could get those creative juices going
let's
and
do
pick
this.
something
Come on, Mo,
and
you're
get it
right too.
done.
Let's just make
You
some
know,
bullshit short film and then we'll get Thundercats in two
there you
years.
go. Yeah,
Two
there you
guys who
go.
used to do a podcast and now directing and co-writing Thundercats. Come on, that's a great story.
And when we're doing a podcast talking about our own film.
It's amazing. Great ever.
Apparently, shooting is already penciled to start this summer, so they're well into like pre-production.
Yeah, I don't trust what this is going to end up being, man. Because yeah, I was going to feel like Kevin Smith ain't involved, so he has a chance of being good. But
Come on, come on. The
but
Kevin Smith one was pretty damn good. Look,
doesn't sound like it.
I know it pains you, and you got to lie like you do about The Rock, about certain actors. I know there's like bias in you, but come on, credit was credit.
No.
I really don't know, mate. I guess I mean when we saw when we heard Robert Pattinson was going to be the Batman, right? You know, there was a bit of like really, but then we saw that trailer and it's like, you know what,
See,
not bad.
that's another example. A trailer that looks like a film. Look at that picture that we look. This is going to look like that Sandra Bullock thing. It's going to look all digital and sharp and shit and corny. It's going to be terrible.
He-Man is quite corny though.
At least you could. If it doesn't have to be, it's like this, like a script I was telling you about.
I
It
mean,
could be more. It could be epic.
look at the outfit that he wears and he rides a tiger.
What is wrong with that? You bondage shaming. He-Man, there's nothing wrong with wearing straps and exposing your
I gotta
nipples to the
say,
world.
his outfit, like in the '87 movie, did look pretty cool in live action. Like, it
Oh
did look
God,
better than it had any right to, didn't it?
that travesty of a movie. How did they fuck that up, man? Everything was cool. Dolph Lundgren was perfect, but then they decided to put him in the real world.
I think it's money. That's all it could have been, right?
Yeah,
Because
with
they
Monica
probably
from
couldn't
Friends.
have. Yeah, they had like that 15 minutes that looked really cool, and then like we've run out of money. We need to set it in Los Angeles.
God, it's a travesty, man.
Right, next up.
What we got?
Okay, so this is one you've added. It Takes Two is being adapted for film and television. So is this like a video game or something?
This is a little independent video game which came out, I believe, last year or in 2020.
It's not like Wordle that just sold for like 7 figures today, apparently.
Crazy. Who bought it? Apple.
I know, I think it's the New York
Go-
Times or something.
Yeah, weird. So weird. But yeah, It Takes Two. It's basically a game where actually, what am I? You can click on it. You're the synopsis guy.
Well, I'm looking at the article, but like you added this, so I thought you'd probably give
Well,
some background.
want to give your. I love your. I don't want to cheat you with it. Basically, it's a game where there's a couple, husband and wife, and they have a little daughter, and they're arguing. We've seen it in many family movie. And the daughter, fed up with their arguing, makes two facsimiles of them out of clay and various other little household items of the mummy and daddy, and makes a wish like, please make them stop, please find a way, universe, for them to find each other again in love and all of this bollocks. And then she goes to sleep, and the dolls come alive, and it's the parents stuck in the bodies of these two little toys, the little clay beings, and they can't explain what's happening. They have to find their way to the daughter to try and see if she can reverse this wish and this curse to see if they can be back to normal. But yeah, they're stuck in a Honey I Shrunk the Kids sort of world where they're trying to make their way through the house and all these mad things happening. It's a fun game. You have to play it with two people. That's why it's called.
All right,
It Takes Two.
so if you got no friends, you
You
can't
can't
play it.
play it on your own now. That's what it's called. It Takes Two. But it's won a bunch of awards, and it's actually a very heartwarming story. The way it plays out, it's like a Pixar movie, basically.
So this is rife for the pickings and for a
Perfect
movie
for
adaptation.
a movie adaptation. You can have a lot of fun with this with a good writer.
Hold on, It Takes Two is being adapted for film and TV.
That I don't get. Like, is there going to be spin-offs of other people? This is going to be like a pandemic of kids wishing their parents can get back together, and then they're waking up in bodies of dolls and toys and all this sort of thing.
Currently, no studio or network is attached to It Takes Two adaptation, but according to variety sources, it's currently the subject of a multi-party bidding war.
Yeah, like I said, it was a very successful game for a little indie. Won a bunch of awards, so keep an eye out for this one.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll file that in the Tetris is being made into a movie that never happened.
Wasn't that supposed to happen?
What else? We talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big thing a couple of years ago, and then he just went dead. And someone probably realised, well, hold on a minute, there's no actual plot or characters or actors or people or anything apart from blocks falling.
I presumed it was going to be like a story of the guy that made it in like Soviet Russia or something.
Well, that'd be a movie about the making of Tetris. I mean, the other way it could go is about you could have like a savant who's just like a Tetris genius who
Yeah,
goes
that's
around
the
the
way.
world challenging people to like games of Tetris.
Yeah, and people he defeats, he takes their lives. Yeah, the Tetris serial killer. Oh, come on. Man, we're genius, man. Why are we writers? It's not fair. Professional. Godzilla.
Right.
What the hell?
Godzilla is being developed into a TV show at Apple.
Do we need this? Godzilla works just like with Kong in small doses in movies that come out every 2 or 3 years. A whole series of Godzilla. We need this.
I've got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of Godzilla.
The newer ones, they actually are pretty fun. The last one does get pretty damn ridiculous, to Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong, but there's fun to be had with those films. But not as a series.
It is Apple. They will spend the money, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's only so much you could do with like a giant reptile Godzilla that comes out of the sea. What's like the driving narrative?
Well, with the most recent films, it was that he was one of many. There were these beings that were guardians of the Earth, and because of the way we're treating this planet, they were beginning to awaken out of volcanoes and various other places in the Earth, causing natural disasters. And Godzilla was a way of correcting that balance. So they were there to wipe out mankind, and he was there to wipe them out before they could do that. So there's a whole bunch of these other monsters. But yeah, they've kind of addressed that in the film. So what's left? He's starting again. They're doing it again from the beginning.
Well, this will be an Apple thing, right? So I'm assuming they'll be doing their own thing, nothing connected to the films.
Yeah, they don't need to. It's done.
Little is known, yeah. Well, I guess they just need more content.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what? I'm actually really surprised. You know, like it came to me the other day. I'm really surprised they didn't buy Warner Brothers on the cheap.
What is given how much money they got? What was Warner Brothers going for? Was it less than Activision?
It was way less than Activision, like 43 billion or something.
That's insane. That is such a waste. Such a waste. And
Apple could have just come in there and just snapped that up.
And
that would have been like a bargain for them. Yeah.
They would be sitting pretty right now. There would actually be a reason to buy Apple Plus now if they had Warner Brothers and MGM.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? That would have been a very good catalog, in fact.
Yeah. They could just get rid of HBO Max. Wouldn't need to happen. All of that content would be on Apple Plus. Boom.
Yep.
Man, they fucked up.
They'd call it Apple HBO Max.
Yeah,
Ultra. Plus. Right, okay, so Nick Stahl joins the cast of the Showtime drama Let the Right One In. So who's Nick Stahl?
He's an actor. You've never seen Nick Stahl? He was John Connor.
I'm assuming he's an actor.
He was John Connor in one of the lesser Terminator movies.
In which one? There's been so many of them.
I think he was in Terminator 3, if I believe. If I'm right.
Terminator. Oh, the actual Terminator 3 from like the late 90s.
I believe so. The one with the female Terminator. I think he was John Connor in that one. But yeah, it's one of these actors I think had issues. He just kind of disappears and comes back down again. But yeah, Let the Right One In. Have you seen it?
Would you? I have seen. No, I've seen the original, not Swedish. The fake American remake.
Seen both, and they're actually both decent. Obviously, the Swedish one's better, but American one ain't bad, but now they're dramatizing it. And it's the story of this this little boy who moves into this new housing complex, and he befriends a little girl. And then over the course of the story, you find out in both films that the little girl is actually a vampire. She's been alive for like hundreds of years, but they become close friends. And
she's just waiting to turn him, really, isn't she?
yeah, because she's looking for a new guardian because
Yeah.
the person who you think's her dad was giving away the whole. No, I have to cut it out. I don't want to give it away. It's a good film.
I just googled Nick Stahl, and the very first hit you get, like when you Google his name, is like, "What happened to Nick Stahl?" And apparently, in 2017, he moved to Dallas. No, sorry, he moved to Texas and was taking a leave of absence from acting to concentrate on family and sobriety.
Okay, Hollywood has a way of churning them up and kicking them out.
Yep. Are you looking forward to this?
It could.
Do we need it after 2 films?
Well, the films are very good, obviously, especially the Swedish one. But there is fun. There is space to tell an interesting story there. I think over
Or are you
8
wanting
episodes.
to see? Are you wanting to see like a reverse Twilight here, where you've got like a female vampire and a boy that falls in love with her, and they go off on like a romantic killing spree? And...
Next 5 years, that's gonna happen. Twilight. They've already been talking about rebooting Twilight. So I bet you that's what they do. They switch it. The girl's gonna be the Edward, and Bella's gonna be the vampire. Can't wait.
But there you go. You've got it in this already.
No, but these are like little kids, though. This is different.
I can't remember how old the kid's supposed to be. I don't remember them being that young in the Swedish.
Yeah, they're like 10, 12 years old.
No.
Yeah, look it up. Young? Look it up. That's how young in both versions they were.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So yeah, this could be good if it's done well, but you never know. Like, sure.
Yeah.
You never know with Hollywood.
Right. In the next news, after Rock rebutted and dressed down Vin Diesel, Vinny and co have gone looking for the next biggest star on the planet that could possibly be in
the
Fast
next
10.
Closest Polynesian guy they could find.
Who is also, let's be fair, he's one of the biggest stars on the planet now when it comes to acting.
It's always when people are at their lowest, because he's been going through some issues. Sadly, he was one of the Hollywood couples, him and
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, they're one of the ones I thought were gonna last, man. It's sad. That's kind of hit the rocks. But yeah, just when he's at his most vulnerable, Vin comes out to leech on and
says how much.
Yeah, it's your destiny to be in Fast and Furious. That's the picture.
Jason, we're talking about Jason Momoa. Obviously, fans will know him and love him as Ronan Dex from Stargate Atlantis. His biggest role ever, but his best role by far.
Hated him.
None of this Aquaman nonsense.
I'll take his Baywatch appearance over friggin' Atlantis.
It's an interesting move, I guess. Right? It's they were going to have to go for somebody with like some big star power to.
He hasn't said yes yet, though, has he?
No, I think they're offering it to him, or rumored. Yes,
most
probably
likely
just haggling for a bit more money. This is be a payday for him because he knows cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. That's these fast movies.
Aquaman will pay enough.
Do generate exactly? They do generate cash.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't make me go and see it, but hey.
No, it wouldn't. He'd make a good villain though.
Yeah,
he would.
It would be interesting because he was quite good as Khal Drogo. He wasn't quite the villain, but wasn't obviously quite the straight-laced good guy either.
He was the roguish good guy. Did not last long enough.
No. That was the best thing about that show. Like the good characters just came and went right before they overstayed their welcome.
Yeah, that's true. Even though Joffrey lasted for way too long.
But that was a whole different thing though. That was just like, you just want him. The longer he was there, the more painful a death you wanted him to have.
Yeah, but I wanted to be at the hands of Sansa. Sansa? So yeah, Sansa. Definitely. Well, anyway, superhero news. Judgment Day, Mo.
Is it happened? Is it happening?
Is
the Lord calling us all back?
Not too long if Russia have their way. Jesus. No.
Oh, sorry, you mean Lord Putin?
Yeah, our overlords. So new comic book event called Judgment Day. Basically, it's gonna end up being this whole year-long thing. It's gonna end up being Avengers versus X-Men versus the Eternals. Now, in
Ooh.
amongst this storyline, this year-long storyline, it's gonna be revealed that mutants are actually deviants, the same deviants that we saw in Eternals. An offshoot of that. That's going to be the origins of where mutants come from. So we're wondering, is this going to be how they
Hold
do it
on.
with
So
the
the
films?
deviants are the Eternals, right? If I remember correctly.
Now, deviants were those little dog-like things that were running around that they had to hunt. That they,
Oh, right, right,
yeah,
right, right. So those are
yes.
the X-Men. Those are the X-Men evolve into those.
Somehow they seed the genetics get into the human race somehow. That's what I'm guessing, and that,
Right,
or at the very least, that's what the Eternals are going to believe. So maybe it
right.
turns out that that's not the case and they're mistaken, but that's going to be why they're going to want to wipe out mutants because they believe them to be, yeah, deviants. So do you reckon this is going to be the route they take with the films? Because they tend to be closely associated, the comics and the films, and back and
But
forth.
but with the films, they generally go looking for like old stories, right? Have we had any occurrences where something new has been written and they've translated it to the
Well,
screen?
this is a unique situation, isn't it? Because they didn't have mutants in the beginning, they kind of have to backwards engineer it, so they can't just have them pop up out of nowhere. So either it's through a multiverse
Yeah.
event, maybe in Doctor Strange, but if it doesn't happen there, then this is the other way you can newly introduce mutants into the universe. So if they do go this route,
Yeah.
do you think that'd be a decent way to do it?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to get my head around the Eternals versus the Fantastic, no, versus the Avengers versus the X-Men. To say Fantastic Four there for
Yeah,
a minute.
yeah,
It's like, aren't they all supposed to be goodies, but they're all fighting each other? This could be another Batman v Superman scenario.
yeah, they constantly do this. But I don't mean that in the films that they'd have those guys fighting against each other
Yeah.
necessarily, but just the deviants being associated with mutants.
I guess that's one way to do it, right? Because the question you're always going to have now, as a fan, having seen like 25 of these films,
Mm.
where the fuck were the mutants all this time?
Yeah, they've only just started manifesting.
What, exactly. Why were they not there in Endgame?
Mm. That's it. That's what I wanted to mention. I just want to see whether you thought that was a good idea. Let's get into the big one. No, oh shit. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We mentioned the other one.
Yeah, so some more James Gunn news. So this one came as a bit of a surprise, and I guess it depends on how you interpret it. First, I thought James Gunn, by saying this is the last time you're going to see this Guardians of the Galaxy cast, I suddenly thought, oh, hold on, is this the last Guardians movie? Is he not doing any more? But when you look a little bit closer, what he's kind of saying is this particular cast that's going to be in number three is not going to be the same cast you will see in a future movie, right? So, I guess some are going to die, some are going to leave,
Contracts are
something's
up,
going to happen. Yeah,
basically. Uh, it's going to be a shame because I do like these groups of individuals,
yeah.
but
Well, Batista's already said this is it
he's
for him, right?
yeah, especially if not James Gunn's going to be doing it anymore, which I don't think he will be. I think
No, but
he's
wasn't
done
it
with it.
about like always being bare chested? He didn't like or something. Wasn't that his little thing?
Probably that as well. But yeah, because I don't think James Gunn's going to be coming back. He's done. I think he's having too much fun with the DC stuff now as well.
You can
Uh,
see him just inching his way to like the architect position.
he
Although I
should
don't know, I don't know if he would like that because he kind of seems like he's
maybe.
hands-on.
Yeah, but then again, if you're hands on, you'd like to be able to
Yeah, but
navigate
with the
all of this.
architect, you've got to step back and you've got to have people do all because you can't oversee that many films and still make films as well.
True, true. But somehow Feige is overseeing all the Marvel, and he's got this frigging other Star Wars trilogy, which we keep forgetting that he's doing as well. How he's got time for that, I have no idea. But yeah, yeah, like someone has to carry over though. Surely
Guardians of the
Rocket
Galaxy.
and Groot at least.
Oh yes, mainstays, right?
At
Oh,
least those two.
and surely Star Lord, right? Because without Star Lord,
Nah, I don't know. I think it might be time. You've seen how the internet's just been turning on him, man? He's not become. His
why is the
name is
internet
going through the
turning on
mud.
him?
It's a
Why? What's he
combination of
done?
things. It's a combination of him constantly saying stupid shit about his ex-wife, and also he's a very fundamentalist Christian, like his church is that he
Oh, is
belongs
he?
to.
All right.
The church he belongs to has got a very bad reputation for various
Do you know what?
reasons.
I've not actually heard any of this stuff about him.
I gotta look it up, man.
I've
And
heard like he obviously is everywhere because he's like in this, he's
and he
like in the
seems like a nice
Jurassic
guy.
Park,
I have
he's
no
in the
issues with him.
Mario film.
Yeah, I've got no issues with him. But every time he's open his mouth, yeah,
Oh
how it
dear.
is. Twitter seems to melt.
Well, well, every time a celebrity puts their foot in their mouth, come on, it
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
daily, probably
That's
multiple times a day. I mean,
that's
we had
it.
Whoopi Goldberg this morning.
Yep. I know. Oh God. Dumb
I mean,
Woofy.
if that's the hill you want to die on, I mean, god damn it.
Next week we're gonna hear that she's been distantly removed from Picard season 2.
No, I think she's already come out and apologized already, turned around and
Never enough.
seen the error of her way.
It's never enough. It's like a dog with a bone, man. Once people kind of get that in their
No, I think
teeth.
it's no. That only happens when people double down on the stuff that they've said.
Let's hope so. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who would take over? Who would direct? Like, who has that James Gunn
Yeah.
humor that they can inject into the drama? Because that's what makes his film so enjoyable.
Controversial?
Kevin Smith obviously could do
No,
that.
no. We want these films to be good.
They would be good.
It's controversial, but there's only one guy that could do that sort of.
Josh Whedon.
Yeah. But they ain't never gonna get him. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Why do
oh
you have to
God,
be
no.
a dick?
That,
He would have
yeah,
been
he's
the perfect guy to
fantastic.
pick up for this.
Well, no, I don't know. You say that. I mean, you've seen the Avengers and Age of Ultron. They didn't have. I mean, they were okay films. They were good films, competently made films, but they didn't have that James Gunn spark.
Nah, but I think those were too big of properties, though, man. Those toys were way too high class for him to play with.
What if they
I
get the
think
Russos back?
maybe, but would they be Guardians of the Galaxy though?
I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy is very hot, and it's a property that
With
people now love, right?
a whole new cast.
You
That's
get
the
to
issue, though.
you
You
get
don't
to
have
go
that.
and pick. Yeah, you get to make it your own.
Hmm.
Oh, Lord of Miller.
Oh, perfect. We figured it out. Lord of Miller,
Yeah.
Marvel, Feige, Lord of Miller need to direct that shit.
Although I
and
think
write
they're
it.
too busy doing the Spider-Man stuff, right?
Oh, they'll be done with that by that point. Because this is about to come out. Is it this year or next year?
It's this year, is it? Oh no, what? Guardians of the Galaxy?
Hmm.
No, Spider-Man.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Into the Spider-Verse Part 1's coming out this year.
Yeah, but Guardians, is that this year or next year?
I don't think it is this year.
So if it's next year, so we got another
Yeah.
3 years before another one would have to come out. So yeah, we're fine. Lord of Mirror, it's official. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4.
Done. There we go, Fire. We've solved your problem for you.
There you go. Mo, ask you something.
Yeah.
We got any letters?
We have got a letter. We have, in fact, got an email.
Ooh.
In fact, it's from one of our long-time listeners, Joseph, who very kindly, if you recall, sent us that lovely package from the US with all of that gorgeous candy that we gorged on.
Yeah, it made me sick. Good sick.
So Joseph says to us, "Hey guys, has Mo ever given a tour of his Blu-ray, DVD, UHD collection on YouTube or Instagram? It seems like he buys physical media every other week, yet I've never seen how he organizes them. So I just imagine a room full of Blu-rays stacked to the ceiling. Is there anything in either of your guys' films and TV collection that holds a special place in your hearts? Thanks, Joe." You are right. I do buy a ridiculous amount of physical media. I am actually really excited by 4K UHD because a lot of the studios are really putting in a lot of effort to go back and really properly restore their films to a standard that they didn't do for Blu-ray for all of them. Plus the fact that I think this will possibly be the last format. I can't imagine an 8K format. They don't even. They're only making even modern movies. Most of them only get made in 2K and then get upscaled to 4K because the effects are so expensive.
There's always another format. Just when we think we've peaked,
it'll probably be a streaming format. I don't know if they'll do a disc one for 8K because the sales for physical media are just not what they used to be.
It will be a syringe that we just inject into our veins, and the films will exist that way.
In your head. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're pretty much right. They are just stacked to the ceiling. I do have like just on the other side of the room here, like this massive bookshelf, but I've run out of room and now I'm stacking them like this as opposed to just keeping them on the spine.
Yeah, it's
What I
it's horrible. Yeah, you should never do that because it's not good for the cases to do them like that.
It's absolutely fine.
When you
Um,
eventually finally get your new house, I expect you
yes,
to put money into getting a decent shelving
absolutely. I
units.
will have a dedicated room for like just a mecca of film. So like a proper screening room with shelving all around it to like house all of this. But the reality is, I don't really use the discs because once I get the disc, I extract the data, I put it onto
Insane,
like a home server, and I have
insane,
my own like private Netflix. Um,
insane. So what's the point? What's the point?
the discs are a second backup. My favorite ones. Oh, well, you've also got to show support for like
Oh
the labels that are
yeah,
still doing this because if no one buys them, they're gonna stop doing it. And the little labels like Eureka and 88, they are doing God's work at the moment. These are probably my
yeah.
favorite discs. They are lovingly restoring. Well, actually, Fortune Star is restoring the films, but they're adding stuff like multiple audio tracks. So it's not like one shitty audio track. They are really hunting down the original dubs, the original mono sounds. They're going and remastering the original trailers so they're in high def.
Can't be easy to do that either because I have to go to China and it's not always easy to get stuff done in over
Mate,
there.
you should see the Armor of God. There is about 10 soundtracks on that, right? And the only difference between some of them is like the opening or the closing piece of music. 'Cause apparently Armor of God in some territories had one piece of music and in another
Weird,
one had another piece of music. So
weird.
they've got it in like Cantonese with this one, Mandarin with that one, then Cantonese with this. It's crazy.
Yeah, so to be able to get the thumbs up
Overwhelming. Yeah.
and
And TV box sets. I
over
love
there, it's
TV box
good.
sets. The Office, Parks and Recs. What else I've got there? The X Files, The Sopranos.
Yeah, I don't buy that much. Every now and again, I don't know if it's probably one because I tend to crop these videos, so you're not really gonna see much of it. But yeah, I don't really bother with box sets anymore. It's just all digital for me. It's just easier.
It all depends on what your jam is. I will say that the trap with digital, I have seen that the problem with the digital is you can get trapped in an ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
And I have seen people who have had to dispute things with a provider, so like Apple or Google, and as soon as you like do a reverse charge or dispute something, they just close your account and you lose access to everything. And you know, that's not a hypothetical. I have seen in the press on 2 occasions where that has actually happened.
Insane. Well, obviously, I love my
Yeah.
Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase One, the actual case. Well, you can all see that. You guys have watched this many times. You can all see it.
Yeah, I've got
The
like the
Inception's
MCU
case,
films
the
with
Inception
like all steel
case,
books.
my True Blood with the True Blood bottle. Tons. There's tons. But I do like my little animes and my kung fu movies that are still on old DVDs though, because I also like the old commentaries that they used to do back in the day.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, the commentaries on those films are fascinating to listen to as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's your crown jewel though, Mo?
My crown jewel, I don't know. I think it's got to be at the moment. I think my favorite ones are like all the Jackie Chan and the Sammo Hung ones, right? Those are something that I like new in my collection. I never really had
Yeah.
that many of the old ones. I'm rediscovering a load of them. It looks like this year they've just announced a bunch of like Ewan Biao films,
Young View.
Ewan Biao, sorry, films that, and he's never really had that push. And I've just seen that they're putting up what's it, Dreadnought and Kickabout.
Dreadnought.
Uh,
Yes. I love that film.
and Righting Wrongs apparently is rumored to be coming next after that.
Yes.
So it's probably
Awesome.
got to be something like oh, I don't know. It's really tough. The old DVDs that I've got, some of them used to come in absolutely gorgeous packaging. Like the Fighter in the Wind came like in a wooden
Yes.
box.
That was so cool. Even the one I bought a few for House of Flying Daggers. That beautiful
Yep, there you
case.
go.
There's the
That
pen
was
and the
in my
calligraphy and
home
all
for
that.
many years.
Where is it? Let me get it. Let me get it. Keep talking, man.
I've just bought like the Shaw Brothers box set from Arrow. That comes in a gorgeous little box, and it's an actual like book. I didn't show
Oh,
you that when you guys came over. You didn't even ask.
they're
Hey, there we
big.
go, House
It's an
of the
actual
Flying Daggers.
movie. Oh yeah, even the Even though the Jackie Chan film, The Myth, it's a terrible film, but the special edition case it comes in, like you get a little,
I've got that as well.
yeah, you get like this brick because it's a movie where he's like basically his version of Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
looking for like the last emperor or the first emperor's tomb. And yeah, you get this block, a brick, and there's like a little figurine inside it, which you have to chisel out. Obviously, you don't want to do that because special edition all of that. But
The Armor of God is also his version of like Indiana Jones.
A better version of it, right? But not of Indiana Jones, but better than The Myth. Oh yeah, I forgot there was like this bamboo pen inside it. It's cool, it's little cool stuff. What was this? The soundtrack?
CD soundtrack.
Beautiful, beautiful. They don't do these no more.
No, they do. You do get stuff like this still.
I've never seen them. Man. Oh, little certificate. Let you know that Mo didn't sell me a dud. Yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta keep an eye out for these because I miss buying these things. Oops.
Oh, they do them all the time, mate. They're money though. They are expensive.
It's worth it though. If there's ever anything I'll spend money on, it'd be these sort of special editions.
Have you actually watched that since you bought it from me?
Not since, no. I want to get the My Sassy Girl one you had. And what was the other one that was kind of the cool case?
Similar to My Sassy Girl. Similar to My Sassy.
Yeah, it was another one of those.
Yes. Windstruck.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, these are like Korean films that we're talking about now. Back in the day.
Yeah,
they really used to do some nice.
Wasn't there? Was that the one you heard? Wasn't there one that actually came in like a gi, was wrapped?
Oh, sorry. You know what? I got my films wrong. So Fighter in the Wind is actually the one that came wrapped in a gi. The one that came in a box is Arahan.
Arahan.
Do you remember Arahan?
Yeah, I remember that.
With some amazing special effects for like early 2000s, like Korea.
It was terrible. So thank you for that, Joseph. Yeah, kind of making me realize I have to burn more money now because I actually want to start collecting more. I miss these.
Mate, you've got to get all those Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung films.
I go to their sites, man, and now and again they do little deals, but
yeah,
it's like once I start, then that's it. I'm gonna have to keep getting all of them.
See, the thing is, you need to have started a couple of years ago because what they do is they make a limited edition for like 3,000 units where you get like a slipcover and all these other things, and then once those are gone, they're just the normal.
Exactly, I'm never going to be satisfied now unless I go on eBay and buy second-hand ones.
Yeah, or you go around HMV and find out the ones that haven't sold yet because there's still like my local HMV still has like quite a few of them.
How close is it to you?
It's Westfields.
How far away?
It's about 3 or 4 stops on the tube.
We may have to make a little journey, Mo. I didn't know I could do that close. There
is one there. Yes.
Okay. A little shopping trip coming up. I love it. So Mo, if anyone else has any questions, how can they do so?
Folks, if you want to email us, you can email us at tatmpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we are Talking Movies 3. And if you want to see more of my collection that I do post of every now and then, we can follow us on Instagram at Talking at the Movies.
You need to do them as actual videos, though. Show you opening up the little box.
Yeah, I need to get like a tripod or something because like trying to hold it like that and do that kind of stuff.
Next time we come over, we'll actually do it with Simon's phone. We'll actually like hold it for you so you can actually just do it. That's like
if I get a tripod, I could probably do it myself, right? Because the Shaw Brothers box set probably would have been a good one.
But you won't.
The other problem is you also then have cats just walking in and out of like the frame as well.
That's the appeal. People love cats. That old classic Hollywood one you got, that was really nice.
Oh yes, the Columbia Classics box set from like Sony.
That was cool.
I got volume 2 now.
Next one already. Jeez.
They churn them out like once a year.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing it.
Oh no, I got it. Yeah. I got it. I think I bought it just before Christmas.
Jeez. All right. Anyway, guys, from me to Reese.
And me, Mo.
See you guys next week.
Later, folks.